did you ever think, when you became affiliated with the agency, where we would be today? Ken?
No, I didn't. I couldn't see that far ahead. I know that we had a wonderful agency here. When I worked at the base, I was the designated representative on the Rome Community Chest, and the Rome Community Chest contributed a small amount each year to this agency. My part in was to come down and look at the budget here, and I couldn't believe what was being accomplished here with such a small amount of money. I just couldn't believe it. And of course, Helen McBride had a great deal to do with that. Alma Steinbacher. And I remember years later, somebody who didn't know Alma and I as well, they said, they said to Alma, I'd like to introduce you to Ken Thayer. And she's introduced me to Ken Thayer. We were in the Army together.
Oh. Small world, oh my gosh.
I keep, I think what keeps me going, I'm going to be 91 years old next month.
Hey,
and,
great.
And when I think back, when I first came on this board, like I say, I can always remember that Kirk Guild building down in that dungeon. And I think the greatest joy I have and memories that I have of the place is that I just can't believe when I get the reports every year, the volume that this guy and Don have done and what we've done with a great board. Like you say, I remember having arguments with the people on the board, getting money out of the endowment and convincing them to buy the pencil machines and the things. But the results are so great. And when I talk to guys like Jim Marsher, who's a mobility instructor here, I think he's getting ready to retire too.
Yeah,
He's been here 35 years, this kid.
Great guy.
He's my fishing partner besides. But I catch bigger fish than he does.
Yeah, I'll tell him that.
And, but it's just a pleasure. Even when I talk to Jim, I tell him every time when I fish with him too, I say, God bless people like you. People don't realize what a special person you have to be to work with the disabled people and people that are blind. And I've even said this to many people that I know that start to complain. I said, did you ever walk down to Blind Association? I said, you should walk in there and take a look at people. They don't complain about the weather. They don't complain about working. They're just so happy. They're smiling and so forth. I said, that's what life's all about. And I think that's the satisfaction most of us board members got out of this thing is remember, Don, one year, we were always bringing in speakers to speak. And then Don decided one year, he said, you know what, we should have the blind people make the speeches at some of our dedication, right? And I'm telling you, that was such a thrill to me, that what these people, what they were saying from their hearts. One of them said to me, I don't understand why we can't work on Saturdays and Sundays. What are we going to do home? We just sit there. We want to work 7 days a week. And it's just so beautiful to see these people. And when I hear them even speaking today on the radio and some of these programs, they're so happy to be alive.
Yeah,
and with such great handicaps. It's wow. Close your eyes sometimes. That's what I tell people.
As I said before, I worked in the private sector for 19 years, and 13 years of it was with GE. And I'll never forget, we had signs all over the place at French Road. Progress is our most important product. Okay, think about that. So I come here, I get interviewed by Don, and he takes me through, and I'm looking at the people, and I said, you know what? I like this place because people are the most important product. And I really felt that. I said, I can use my experience and my expertise in trying to get people to, perform proficiently, efficiently, working. I said, but, the bottom line is that I'm helping the people. And that was so important to me. I went home, I told my wife, I said, Gina, she was in education, so she could understand. I said, I'm really excited. I said, it's a challenge. They got no money, no buildings, they got none of this. I said, but there's so much to accomplish. I said, I can't do any worse than they're doing, which is the truth. So I said, I'm very excited. And I called Don and I said, I really would like the job. And Don said, I'll think of, consider your application and all. And sure enough, he calls me and tells me I got the job at a price, at a wage cut. I took a little cut in wage. And
We all
I
did.
said, but so what? I said, this is really going to be exciting. So anyways, that was my first thoughts about coming here, the people. And to this day, I mean, I could never, say enough about the people. I mean, I would go around to every person working there every morning and say hello. And they liked that. And they'd tell me about what they saw on TV the night before. And it was time consuming. But I always had that relationship and that connection with the people. And I think I got more out of them from that, just that little hello in the morning and, talk to them. And they'd ask me, how am I doing, my production? And I said, you're doing fine. Just try to do a little better. So anyways, that was my take on coming here to work. And
Well, that
I
is
have
great.
no regrets.
Well, did you ever think we'd be where we are today? No. I mean, this is phenomenal
It is.
from where we all started. There's no question about it. And I was thinking that you mentioned some of the larger agencies, Luke, in New York City. The Lighthouse, who had a lot of our business, no longer has an industries program. The Guild no longer has an industries program. IHB no longer has a program. And here we are in Utica, and I've always said to other people, my colleagues in Albany and Buffalo, if we can do this here in Utica, why can't you do it there with the population you have? It's because of the commitment. People like Luca, who were very, very sincere and worked very hard and believed in the mission of the agency. And I go back to what I said a while ago. The reason this agency has been successful is that we've never lost sight of what the mission is, to assist
Exactly.
people who are blind and visually impaired achieve their highest levels of independence. And without a board of directors, and I really mean this very sincerely, there's no way we could accomplish what we did, the staff, if you didn't have a board of directors with all this expertise in their own jobs, but in their commitment to the agency and to go along with the changes. And then the other thing is, of course, the staff. You got to hire good staff, professional staff, people like Jim Marshall, like you mentioned.
35 years.
Dedicated. And then the volunteers, and then a community supports you. So it all comes together. I think if you do the right thing and keep sight of what your mission is, then you can accomplish a lot.
Well, I think the most important employee that I was involved in was this guy, because when we were looking for someone to replace Helen McBride, we had no idea where to start.
That's right.
We had no idea, and we knew right off the bat that we couldn't afford the quality person we needed. And why this guy ever took a job, I think he just saw that. I think he looked at us and said, I can't let these people stumble around anymore. They need professional help. When I joined this board, I was so impressed with the board that we had. People who didn't have the time to spare, really were very busy people, and but who made time available to support this agency. And without these businessmen in the community, this agency wouldn't be here now. It wouldn't be here.
I could always call Charlie up and he'd make time for me. I could call Roger, walk into the bank. I can remember Judge DiOrio.
Yes.
I had to go over there for something. He was on our board. A bunch of people waiting. And walked in. And receptionist says, Donald Gittesy from the association is here. Have him come right in. So there was that type of commitment. They always made time, and the board. That was the first thing I said to my wife when I got back from the interview. I said, I'm impressed with the board members. I'm impressed that they're committed and they're willing to move ahead. Otherwise, you can't do it just with staff.
Right.
So I'm glad. Glad we're here where we are.
It worked out.
And Rudy's carrying the agency ahead. They're still expanding. The services have increased. The budget's increased. He's doing some really innovative things, and it's exciting.
It is very exciting.
When you're done improving, you're done.